Hello and welcome to Trash Plays Ashes Red Rains this time as opposed to Ashes Ascendancy. I know that last time I said that I would play Ashes Red Rains the end of Argaea, but this is Ashes Red Rains the Corpse of Viros. And the reason I'm playing the Corpse of Viros instead is because I realized during the making of that video, or after the making of the video, that I made the assumption that people watching that video would have already known how to play Ashes Red Rains and they'd be going into Ashes Ascendancy wondering how to play that. But then I realized that anyone coming into Ashes would not know how to play Red Rains and would therefore need to know how to play Red Rains if they want to watch me play Red Rains. Luckily, it's not that different. These are the contents of the box. You get a you get a stack of behavior cards and ultimates. You get the Corpse of Viros themselves, and you get a fatigued card. You get two aspects, the Fairy aspect and the Shadow aspect, as opposed to the one aspect that comes in Ashes Ascendancy. You get the player deck, a single player deck this time, composed of 27 cards, and 4 Phoenixborn, each of whom have their own 3 copies of their new unique cards. It also comes with 6 copies of a card called Channel Magic. This is a sort of generically good card that you can use to replace any cards in your deck that don't work that well in PvE. The reason there are 6 is because this is co-op. So you might be playing with a second player and you both might need 3 copies to replace 3 copies of cards in your deck with. So that's why there are 6. We're not going to be using that though to replace the cards in our deck. I am instead going to replace a single copy of a card called Summon Calamity Golem, I'll explain what this card is later if I play it, with a card called Summon Dreadwraith. This is a card from Brennan Blackcloud's original deck. I would love to show off this deck in its original form, but it's too fun using Summon Dreadwraith with it to not include it, so I'm going to include it for the sake of myself having fun. You have your conjurations that can be summoned, of course. A fatigue card, which does not really matter. If you need to know exactly what fatigue is, then this card is useful, I guess, as a reference point. But the idea is just that when the Chimera's deck becomes empty, it shuffles the graveyard and it creates a new deck. And then they become fatigued. The idea is that you place this at the bottom of the Chimera's deck, and then when you get to it, you're like, oh, the deck is empty, and therefore you flip this over and now they are fatigued. But you know when the deck has become empty. So as long as you know what fatigue is, you don't need this card. I also want to note that these dice are very easy to proxy. These are just 6-sided dice with 2 different sides each. There are 3 sides that are basic, and 3 sides that are Red Rains. Therefore, it is a 50-50 chance what you roll, and you could just proxy these 5 dice with 5 coins if you wanted to. The D12 is not a special D12, it's just a regular one, so you can use any D12 lying around. So if you were looking into buying Ashes Red Rains, the Corpse of Viros, specifically for the dice and the reference card, or the fatigue card, you kinda really don't have to, and you can sort of just skip this box if it doesn't appeal to you and move on to a different box. Oh, and you get some tokens, but not these tokens. These are premium acrylic tokens. You get regular cardboard tokens. So to set up the Corpse of Viros is very similar to the Ashes Ascendancy boxes, the Dragonborn. You set all the dice to their basic sides. Choose a difficulty. We're going to do Standard 2. There are 6 different difficulties. One of them is just more HP with more cards. So Standard 1 is just 4 cards with 30 HP, and Standard or Heroic 3 is 35 HP with 7 cards, which is a dramatic difference. We are going to be doing Standard 2, which is 5 aspects with 30 HP, because I think that Standard 1 is too easy. My preferred number of aspect cards is actually 6. I think that that is a nice difficult challenge, and you can spend a lot of time just thinking through the lines and trying to figure out how you're going to make your plays. But that also takes a long time, and I would like this video not to take 2 hours to record. So, to set up the Corpse of Viros sides of cards, you look at the bottom, and you follow the number of blood at the bottom of the card. So it wants 1 blood, 2 blood, 1 blood, 2 blood, 1 blood, 2 blood, and 2 blood. Honestly, I don't really think that it makes that much of a difference, and you could probably just go 1 blood, 2 blood, 1 blood, 2 blood in alternating order, like you do in Ashes Ascendancy, but this is how it was designed to be played, so that's how we're going to do it. We need to select a Phoenixborn to play, of course. I'm going to choose Jessa, not because I really like to use Jessa or anything, or any of her cards. It's just that she has 19 HP and a bigger spell board than the rest of these Phoenixborn, so I'm probably never going to use her actual ability in combat. It's literally just because she has 19 HP. So we can get rid of these guys and the channel magics, which we are not using. Set our conjuration pile to the side. Technically they should be face down, but I don't do that when I'm playing single player because it doesn't matter. Shuffle up the player deck and we roll our dice after selecting your opening hand. My opening hand is going to be Summon Dreadwraith, Serve the City, Old Salt, Blood Puppeteer, Enchant of Transfusion. I will explain what all those cards do as I'm playing, and I forgot to mention that this is a mono ceremonial deck. It's essentially black in Magic the Gathering, if you know what the black mana sort of does. They do very similar things. So let's roll our 10 dice. And we got 1, 2, 4 basics and only 1 goat. Not the best roll. In Ashes, the players do go first, so set the first player token facing you. To start with, I'm going to play my Summon Dreadwraith ready spell. This just costs a main action to play, and for a main action, exhausting this and 3 knives, which is relatively expensive, I get to play my Dreadwraith Conjuration from my Alteration deck onto the battlefield. This is a 1/6/0, so it's a pretty tanky unit, but it has range 1. Add 1 to this unit's attack value for each wound token on this unit. So if it has 5 wound tokens on it, it is a 6/6, basically, with 5 damage, so it's close to death, but still. It also has Focus 2. You may remove 1 exhaustion token from a Dreadwraith you control, so if 2 more copies of Dreadwraith Summon Dreadwraith are on this deck, then the Focus 2 would activate after playing the Dreadwraith, but those aren't in this deck, so that will never be relevant. For my side action, I'm going to play my Chant of Transfusion. This costs a side action and a knife, and this has after an ally you control is destroyed, so it has to be an ally. Allies specifically say ally, and not conjuration. Place 1 status token on this spell if it has no status tokens on it. And then for a main or side action, I can exhaust this to remove 1 status token from the spell to move 1 wound token from a target unit onto another target unit. So we're playing around with moving damage around and having our units be damaged with this deck. If that appeals to you, then this Ceremonial is probably the decks you want to check out if you're new to Ashes. So that's my main and side action, no reactions. Now we roll for the Chimera. What you do is you roll the D12 and a Rage Dice. The Rage Dice doesn't determine the behavior, the D12 does, unlike Ashes Ascendancy where all you had were Dragonborn Dice, and the Dragonborn Dice did all the behavior. Roll this. So this becomes a Red Rains dice, unfortunately, and we rolled a 2. Once all of these become Red Rains, they get a Red Rains token, and I'll explain what those are when it becomes relevant. So I rolled a 2, 1 to 2 is just reveal. You look at this chart to see what it does. And they revealed a Rampage. That's not good. Okay. Rampage comes into play with 2 status tokens. You can tell by these 2 pips at the bottom. And they still use the icons on the left, middle, and right. They're different icons, but they're placed in the same positions to determine what this unit is going to attack. So this will attack my rightmost unit. It has Rampage in a green box. At the beginning of the Chimera's turn, remove 1 status token from this unit to re-roll all basic Rage Dice. So at the beginning of the Chimera's turn, all 4 of these are going to get re-rolled. And if all of them become this side, it will get a Red Rains token, which gets it closer to doing the ultimate. It is a 2/2/1, and fortunately it doesn't attack or anything, so now it's my turn, and I kind of want... Ooh, what do I want to do? I am going to use my Summon Dreadwraith for my main action. That's going to be 3 dice, 3 daggers specifically, exhaust this, and place a Dreadwraith onto my board. No side actions for me. Actually, you know what? Side action, I'm going to use... I'm going to play Serve the City. This is another ready spell, costs a side action, adding knife. And Serve the City lets me use a main action, exhaust this, deal 1 damage to an unexhausted unit you control, and add 1 to its attack value for the remainder of the turn. If that unit can attack, you may take an attack action, declaring that unit as the only attacker. So you can give a unit an attack boost, but it will take 1 damage, which is fine if you have something like Dreadwraith, who gets stronger when they take damage. So, beginning of the Chimera's turn, 1 token is going to get removed from Rampage, to re-roll all of their basic dice. This happens before you roll the dice to determine the behavior, and unfortunately 2 more became Red Rains. Now you roll for the behavior, you roll a basic and a d12. That's a 3 and another Red Rains, okay. So, 3 is attack if able, if not reveal. So Rampage is going to attack my rightmost unit, that is Dreadwraith, and when your unit is being attacked, directly, you can choose to not have it counterattack. The benefit of that being that if you don't counterattack, then you do not exhaust. So I think I'm gonna... actually... Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna let him take the 2 damage, and Rampage is gonna become exhausted. Unfortunately, this is in a greeny box, therefore exhaustion does not make it so this text block is blank. That's their action, it's my turn. I am gonna side action meditate, turn this basic into a goat, and I'm gonna do that by discarding the top of my deck. I'm gonna when you meditate, you can change multiple dice with one meditate action. I'm gonna do that again. Discard another card off the top of my deck. I'm gonna do that again. I'm fishing here. I'm fishing so I can show off what the ceremonial dice do. Please be a unit. There we go, that's a unit. Alright. That's my side action, and my main action, I am going to play... Main action, I am going to use 2 dice to play Old Salt. This is a 2-3-1, which is good value for 2 dice. However, it is Wounded 1. When this unit comes into play, place 1 wound token on it. So now it's basically a 2-2-1. But again, we play around with wound tokens in this deck. It also has Throw 1. When this unit comes into play, you may deal 1 damage to another target unit. I'm going to deal that 1 damage to Rampage. Now it is Rampage's turn. This dice goes away. Or not dice. The status token goes away. We re-roll all their basic dice. And it becomes a Red Rains, which will flip these all to becoming basics. And then they get a Red Rains token. If they get 3 Red Rains tokens, the ultimate activates. The ultimate is basically what happens with the Dragonborn at the beginning of the turn, except for the very first turn. It no longer does that, or it doesn't do that with the Chimera. They activate their ultimate via getting Red Rains tokens. So now we roll a basic and a d12 to see what happens. They rolled a 2 and a basic. 2 is just reveal. They reveal Frozen Fear. This goes straight from my face. It is a 3/3/2 and it is Frozen Fear. After this unit destroys a unit an opponent controls by attacking, place 1 exhaustion token on that target opponent's Phoenixborn, and it has Terrifying 1. This unit cannot be blocked or guarded against by units with an attack value of 1 or less. Now Dreadwraith has a printed attack of 1, but it gets +1 attack for each wound token, so it has an attack of 3 at the moment. They're not attacking, so now it's my turn, and I'm going to use my side action. I'm going to use the Goat Ceremonial Dice's side action. This allows me to deal 1 damage to my Phoenixborn, and if I do, I get to bring a unit from my graveyard back into my hand. That's going to be Phoenix Attendant, and for my main action, I'm going to use 2 dice for Phoenix Attendant. Phoenix Attendant is a 1/4/2, and it has Alleviate. For a side action, no exhausting it. If there are no wound tokens on this unit, move 1 wound token from your Phoenixborn onto this unit, so this can heal you over time. Now it's their turn. We re-roll another thing to see what they do. And it's another basic, and a 3/3 is attack if able, if not reveal. So Frozen Fear is attacking me directly. I am going to have Dreadwraith jump in front of this attack. So these 2 are going to do combat. Because I chose to block for my Phoenixborn, I have to counterattack with Dreadwraith. So Dreadwraith is going to take 3 damage, and they are now exhausted. But before they took the 3 damage, they had 3 attack. The 3 attack is going to deal the damage to the Frozen Fear. 3 life, kills it. And the Frozen Fear has Blood 2. Blood works exactly the same way in Ash's Red Rains as it does in Ascendancy. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to the corpse of Viros. Now it's my turn, and I'm not exactly in the best position because I don't have any dice left, but I'm going to use my Phoenix Attendant side action. It has no wound tokens on it, so I can move 1 from me over to it. As for my main action, I think I want to have Phoenix Attendant. I want to actually... I'm going to pass. So when you pass and there are face down aspects, you have to raise 1 dice 1 level. If there are no face down units, you don't have to do that. So it's safer to pass when all their aspects are revealed, but I want to pass this time. So roll to see what they do. They get a Red Rains dice, and they rolled a 6. 6 is reveal, attacked with the revealed aspect. So this gets revealed, and it's a Whiplash. No, okay. Whiplash, unfortunately, has the effect of when this unit comes into play, destroy the opposing player's target leftmost unit with 1 or more wound tokens on it. This is my leftmost unit with a wound token on it. If you cannot, deal 1 damage to the player's target leftmost unit. So unfortunately, Dreadwraith is dead, and it's a conjuration, so that does not put a token on Chant of Transfusion. They are also attacking with the Whiplash. Whiplash is attacking my rightmost unit, that is Phoenixborn Attendant, or Phoenix Attendant, and I will choose to counterattack. So my Phoenix Attendant is taking 2 damage, and Whiplash will die from that attack. It has Blood 1, dealing 1 damage to the corpse of Viros. My turn, and That's not great. I will simply pass again. This is not a good idea. You should not pass this much. Not when they have face down units. Roll for them, get another Red Rains token, and they rolled a 9. Not Red Rains token, Red Rains dice. They rolled a 9, and that is target opposing player must lower 2 non-basic dice in their active pool 1 level and reveal. Unfortunately, I don't have any dice. I would love to have some to lower, but we are going to reveal an Iron Scales. Ah, that's not good. I should have attacked when I had the chance. Alright. Iron Scales has Defender. Now, in Ash's Ascendancy, Defender is just a little icon on the bottom right corner. That icon did not exist in Ash's Red Rains, unfortunately, so anytime anyone has Defender, it's just using this big block of text. They attack the leftmost unit, which is not something that we've seen so far yet in Ash's Ascendancy, and it has Iron Scales. After this unit is dealt damage, prevent all but one of that damage from being received. And it has 2 life, so it doesn't matter how much damage you do to it at once. This is in a yellow box, so even if it is exhausted, no matter how much damage you do, it will take 1 damage. So you have to hit it twice, at least, in order to kill this thing. Now it's my turn again, and I should have attacked. There's nothing I can do. I don't want to attack the Iron Scales. I'm just going to end. I'm gonna pass once again. This is so bad. Alright. I pass once again, which means that these all raise. This raises to a Red Rains, which makes it 5, so they get another Red Rains token. Gonna roll to see what they do. Basic and a 2. 2 is just reveal. And it's a Frozen Fear. Okay. Now that all their units are face up, they will no longer roll during their turns. Instead, they're just going to attack from left to right. So now it's my turn, and I want to do nothing. I'm just going to let them attack. Yeah, either way, my Ultsalt is going to be in combat with Iron Scales, and... Oh, wait, I can't... Ooh, wait a second. Yeah, I have my plan forward. Okay. I am going to let them attack. I'm passing. They're attacking. Iron Scales is attacking my leftmost unit. Jessa is going to jump in front of that attack once per turn, or once per round. Your Phoenixborn can guard a unit being attacked. Iron Scales is attacking my Ultsalt, so Jessa is going to take that attack instead. So I'm going to take 3 damage from that attack, and Iron Scales is exhausted. And then it's my turn. I'm still not going to do anything. And now it's their turn. And Frozen Fear is going to attack me directly. Whenever you are being attacked directly in Ash's Red Rains by a unit with a center icon, they don't also attack with all the other center icons. This is one difference in Red Rains compared to Ash's Ascendancy. That is something to keep in mind. So they're attacking Jessa, and any of your units can always block for your Phoenixborn. So Ultsalt is going to block Frozen Fear, and that means that Ultsalt gets a counterattack and deal 2 damage to Frozen Fear. Frozen Fear is exhausted. However, Frozen Fear will kill my Ultsalt. Because an ally this time was killed, my Chant of Transfusion gets to move gets a status token. However, Frozen Fear has Frozen Fear. When this destroys a unit an opponent controls by attacking, place an exhaustion token on their Phoenixborn, which is fine. I wasn't using their ability anyways. So they attacked, and now it's my turn. And I can use my Chant of Transfusion. I'm going to do side action, main action, it doesn't matter. This is going to be the last thing being done this round. I get to exhaust this, remove a status token from it, and move 1 damage counter from a... Move 1 wound token, that's what they're called, from a unit onto another target unit. So I'm going to remove 1 wound token from Phoenix Attendant onto this Frozen... Actually... Frozen Fear is the scarier target, but Rampage lets them ramp up. And I don't want them to ramp up. Because if this lives, at the beginning of the next turn, it's going to get 2 more status tokens to do the Rampage ability over and over. So I kind of want to just kill it now. Yeah, I'm just going to kill it now. I'm going to move 1 damage token from Phoenix Attendant over to Rampage, which will kill the Rampage. And it has Blood 1, so it deals 1 more damage to the corpse of Viros. So, nobody can do anything, it's the end of the round, and what happens is... Very important, the order you do things. So first, you recover as normal. So everyone gets unexhausted. I can once again guard. We also recover equal to our recovery value. Phoenix Attendant has 2, so she recovers 2 damage. We exhaust our dice as normal, so if I had any leftover dice, I could exhaust them I could put them into my exhausted pool. We replenish aspects, so we refill the board up to 5. You don't give it 5 more because you're playing with 5, it just goes up to 5. And then you place Red Rains tokens on the Chimera for each face-up aspect in play. So this is going to get 2 more aspects, or 2 more red range tokens. And unfortunately, that does mean that their ult is going to go off. So they get 2 more. That's going to bring them up to 4, and then they're going to remove red range tokens equal to their ultimate value. So they're going to go 4 minus 3 is 1, and their ultimate 1 goes off. Ultimate 1 says, remove red range tokens from the Chimera equal to its ultimate value. Discard all cards on the Chimera's battlefield that it does not own. For example, if I were to get Blood Puppet on the opponent's battlefield, or if I put alteration spells on their units, those will get discarded. Deal 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn the Chimera's opponent control. So my Phoenix Attendant is no longer fully healed, so I can no longer use Alleviate to transfer damage from myself over to the Phoenix Attendant. Remove this card and a top behavior card from the game, so behavior 1 goes away, and now they move on to behavior 2. And behavior 2 is slightly more aggressive. We also have to flip the first player token, so that they go first this time, and I can discard any number of cards from my hand if I want to. I think I will discard the Blood Puppet. Yeah, I'll discard the Blood Puppet. Actually, this happens after I roll my dice. And the reason we do that is so that you can see what you roll in case that affects what you want to keep in your hand. 2 basics, so 6 daggers and 2 goats. That's not bad. But I'm still going to discard the Blood Puppet. It should be noted, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, that this Defender box is not an icon. This is not in a colored box, so if Iron Scales is exhausted, it no longer has Defender. So then you are free to attack their other unit or go straight for the Chimera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I got Old Salt, Summon Bone Crow, Playtime, Playtime. Yay. Ooh, 2 playtimes. Ooh. Ooh. 2 Summon Bone Crows, though. Yikes. Alright. We can make this work. So, we roll for the Chimera, because they go first this time, and we see what they do. Red Rain's on a 12. No! And a 12! 12 is just straight up giving it another Red Rain's token on the Chimera. And then we reveal. So they are once again 1 Red Rain's token away from killing me, and they reveal a Whiplash. When this unit comes into play, destroy the opposing player's leftmost unit that has damage on it, which is my Phoenix Attendant, which will kill it. I thought that I was in a decent place, but I guess not. Alright. When the Phoenix Attendant died, I get to put a status token on my Chant of Transfusion at the very least. That's nice. I want to... Oh yeah, screw this guy. Alright, I'm gonna use 2 dice, 1 basic, 1 dagger. For my Old Salt. Old Salt comes into play, it is wounded, but it also gets to deal 1 damage to any unit. I'm gonna put that damage on the Frozen Fear, killing the Frozen Fear. Frozen Fear has Blood 2, dealing 2 damage to the Corpse of Viros. And for my side action, I'm going to exhaust my Chant of Transfusion, remove a status token from this, to move 1 damage token over to Whiplash, which will also kill it, dealing 1 more damage to the Corpse of Viros via their blood value. That's my main and side action, and it is their turn. Roll their dice. 9 and another Red Rain's Shard. Alright. 9 is deal 1 damage to the opposing player's target Phoenixborn. That's mean. And reveal. Another Iron Scales, of course. Alright. Okay. That means that I can safely summon a Dread Wraith, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use 3 daggers to use my summon Dread Wraith, and that goes on the field. I don't know if I mentioned this, because I think I just sort of assumed that people knew, but when you play your units, they have to go in order from left to right. So I can't choose to be like, oh, well, these guys are attacking my leftmost unit, so I'm going to put this on my leftmost side. You can't do that. You have to play it from left to right. It is their turn. Or actually, wait, did I have a side action? No, I did not. Okay. It is their... they rolled another 12! Alright, they rolled another 12 and a basic. So they get another Red Rain's token. So that makes 3. So their 3 ultimate goes off. Or their 2 ultimate goes off. Discard all cards on the Chimera's battlefield that it does not own. Deal 2 damage to all units and the Phoenixborn the Chimera's opponent's control. And then remove this. Behavior 2 from the game. They are now on the final behavior card. So all my guys take 2 damage. Including me. You know what's funny is that when I played this game earlier to refresh myself on how to play Red Rains, I won very easily, like extremely easily. They didn't even get to ultimate 2. They didn't even get to behavior 2, I should say. That didn't even happen. Anyways, they also reveal, and they reveal a Fire Belly. That's okay, that's fine, that's fine. So when Fire Belly is declared as an attacker, it deals 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn the opposing player controls, but that's not going to matter that much. Playtime is a fun card, but it's not going to serve me that much. This is an alteration spell, cost a main action and a dagger, and when I can put this on an opposing unit, which will give it -1 attack, and when that unit is declared as an attacker, blocker, or guard, deal 1 damage to their Phoenixborn. And then when this unit is destroyed, they get a Blood Puppet on their board as well. A Blood Puppet is a 0/2/0, it has Cursed 1 at the end of the round, place 1 wound token on your Phoenixborn. So the idea is that you would stack them up with negative stuff and Blood Puppets that would consume, that would fill up their battlefield. But Chimeras don't have a battlefield limit, so Blood Puppets are not that good, and also Burn in general is not that good against the Chimera, or PvE opponents in general, because they have like double the life of Phoenixborn. So playtime is not that great for me at the moment. And Iron Scales makes it so I can't attack anyone but Iron Scales, and they only take 1 damage at a time. Let's play Summon Bonecrow for my main action, and no side action. So it's their turn, Iron Scales is going to attack my leftmost unit, that's going to be Old Salt. Old Salt will counterattack, dealing 1 damage back to it. And unfortunately, because Chant of Transfusion is exhausted, this text block is considered to be blank, so I can't put a status token on this. Now it's my turn, I'm going to play another Summon Bonecrow, and I am doing nothing else, it's their turn. Iron Scales is going to attack my leftmost unit, 3 attack, and Jessa Nani is actually going to take this to the face. So she's up to 10 damage out of 19. But Dreadwraith is safe, and now it's my turn again. And with that done, I am going to use Dreadwraith to attack Firebelly, because the defender, these guys no longer have defender. The defender part of their text box is blank. So Dreadwraith is going to attack Firebelly, and then when you attack an aspect a Chimera controls, you roll a d12, and if you roll a 9 or higher, the Chimera will guard for it. If you roll 8 or less, they will not guard. It's the same probability as it is in Ash's Ascendancy, you just roll a d12 instead of a dice. And that means a dice also doesn't get to become a higher value when they don't guard. So, roll the d12, they rolled an 8. Oh, thank goodness, okay. The Chimera will not guard, that will kill the Firebelly. Firebelly is going to deal 1 damage back to the Dreadwraith. Dreadwraith is exhausted, and the Firebelly has Blood 1, dealing 1 more damage to the Chimera. They're now at 8 out of 30, it's not looking good for me, but it should be fine. It's still my turn. I just attacked, I used my main action. I'm going to use Summon Bonecrow. This cost a dagger. And side action, if a unit was destroyed this turn, place a Bonecrow conjuration onto your battlefield. Bonecrows are 1/1/0s and they have Feast 1. When this unit is declared as an attacker, add 1 to its attack value for the remainder of the turn if it is targeting a card with a wound token on it, which Iron Scales has a wound token on it. Doesn't matter though, because they still take only 1 damage at a time. It's their turn, they pass, it's my turn. I'm going to use my Bonecrow to attack the Iron Scales. It has defend. Oh, no, it doesn't have defender. Oh, it doesn't have defender. Corpse of Viros can still choose to take this, but because it's attacking a unit with a wound token, it will get +1 attack for the rest of the turn. Roll a 5, they don't take it, so Iron Scales is dead, dealing 2 blood damage to the Corpse of Viros. And because a unit died, I'm going to use another Summon Bonecrow, using Knife to get another Bonecrow out here. Their turn, they pass. My turn, I'm going to side action, use a Goat, deal myself 1 damage, using the Goat side action to bring back an Old Salt into my hand. That's my side action. Main action, I'm going to play my Old Salt, using a Goat and a basic. This is Wounded 1 when it comes to play, it gets a wound token, but it also puts a wound token on an enemy while it deals 1 damage to another unit. Their turn, they pass. My turn. Old Salt is going to attack the... No, Old Salt isn't going to do that. Bonecrow is going to attack the Iron Scales. See if they defend this. They don't. And that's going to kill the Iron Scales, dealing 2 more blood to the Chimera. And then their turn, they pass. My turn, I'm going to use Serve the City. I can exhaust this, deal 1 damage to an unexhausted unit you control to add 1 to its attack value for the remainder of the turn. If that unit can attack, you may take an attack action declaring that unit as the only attacker. So Old Salt is going to take 1 more damage, but they're going to attack with +1 attack, so 3 more damage to the Corpse of Viros. They're now at 15 out of 30, we are halfway there. Excellent. Okay, we made a decent comeback during that turn. Nice. Recovery phase, everyone recovers as normal. They have no units, so they won't get any more red range tokens. Dread Wraith has 0 recovery, but the exhaustion does go away. And Old Salt has a recovery of 1, so they get healed 1 damage. I can exhaust any dice if I want to. I don't have any dice unexhausted. And we flip the first player token. Refill the board as well, up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let us re-roll our dice. He should be unexhausted. 2, 3, 4 basics, not what I want to see. And 2 goats. I can choose to discard any cards. Playtime will do nothing for me, let's be honest. I'm going to discard both the playtimes and then draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm the first player this time, so I get to go first. Now, ooh, oh, goodness me, okay. Okay, I have Infuriate. Oh boy, okay. Let me do some math real quick. Because Infuriate is an alteration spell. I can put this on Dread Wraith. If I do, it will give them the following abilities. Frenzy 2. When this unit is declared as an attacker, deal 2 damage to it. But it also gives it Rage 1, and Rage 1 stacks with their Rage 1, meaning they have Rage 2. They will get 2 attack for each wound token on it. So if I put Infuriate onto Dread Wraith, and then Dread Wraith attacks, they would take 2 more damage, so they'd be up to 5 damage, but they get 2 attack for every damage on them, so that's 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 damage. They could do 11 damage to the corpse of Viros right now if I attacked, because they have no units to block with. Bone Crow also gets plus 1 attack when it is attacking a card with a wound token on it. Corpse of Viros is a card, and it has wound tokens on it, so these each could deal 2 damage. And Old Salt can also deal 2 damage with its attack, so I think I can just win right now. Yeah. I can go side action and a knife. Equip Infuriate to Dread Wraith, and when you are attacking a Chimera, a Phoenixborn, or a Dragonborn, you can just go attack with any number of units that you want. So I can go attack with all 4 units to the Corpse of Viros. Dread Wraith is going to take 2 damage from attacking. Bone Crow gets plus 1 attack. These each have 2 attacks. That's 6 attack. Dread Wraith gets plus 2 attack for each wound token. That's 5, 10, plus the 1, 11, plus 6 is 17 damage onto the Corpse of Viros. And they are now at 32 out of 30 HP, and I have 1. Excellent. Okay. That was a good game. I really enjoyed that. That is sort of typically how games will go sometimes when you are playing, especially with lower aspects, is that you will sort of struggle during the first turn, and then during first round, and then during the second round you'll sort of make a comeback. And if you have any units alive at the end of the second round, then you can just sort of rush the boss and win, depending on what you're playing, obviously. Not every deck will do this. It just happened to work out that way this time. There's a lot of cards in this deck that I didn't really get to show off. Blood Brawl is probably my favorite one. This says, well, this is a main action and it costs a knife. Resolve the following effects once for each wound token on units you control. You may deal 1 damage to a target unit an opponent controls. So in this situation, I have 6 wound tokens on my unit, so I can deal 6 damage to the enemy for 1 knife. And if Iron Scales was unexhausted on their side, these count as individual points of damage. So I can go 1, 2, and kill the Iron Scales, and then move on to other stuff, which is one of the best ways to kill the Iron Scales is using stuff like this, stuff that deals multiple damage one time. And there's a lot of stuff like that in this game. But yeah, that is how you play Ashes, Red Rains. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, let me know, I suppose. If you prefer the way the Dragonborn work, let me know as well. That's actually what I'm more curious about. It's a more simple system, Ashes Ascendancy, but I find it to be too predictable. The idea that at the beginning of the enemy's turn, they are always, or the beginning of the round, the enemy is always going to do their ultimate, and that means that you just know what they're going to do, so you might not do stuff based on that. It kind of flattens the game. It makes it more consistent, but it's also more consistent, and every game feels more the same. And also, like, the Skaskakalani, her first ultimate, I'm going to keep calling it ultimate, it's not called an ultimate, but her first ultimate deals 1 damage to all your units. Let's say I had the ability to put out a bunch of stuff that has 0 attack and 1 HP. They can't attack this turn because they're not going to do anything, but you know, in a normal game you would put them out because it's nice to have more units. But if it's the end of round 1, I know that they're just going to die anyway, so I'm not going to bother, you know? Whereas with Ashes Red Rains, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know when their ult is going to happen. I can sort of see it coming. I can see them building up their red range tokens, and I can see their dice slowly becoming more and more red rainsy. So I can make an educated guess, but I can't know for certain. And also, I can help prevent it by doing stuff that lowers my opponent's dice. There are cards that let you do this in Ashes. Aaron Frostpeak had a couple of those cards. So to be completely honest, just based off the one Dragonborn that we have so far, I do kind of prefer Ashes Red Rains. But that's also kind of not fair because we have 7 Red Rains bosses, and they're all very different from each other, so there's a lot of variety there as well. Hopefully future releases of Ashes Ascendancy will prove to be more interesting. And when they release them, you can be sure that I will be playing them on this channel. But until then, I will be playing some more Red Rains. I want to go through all the boxes and show off what those are like. And also, I just feel like more Ashes content should be on YouTube. So, be the change you want to see, I suppose. Hope I see you there. Goodbye.